puntahan natin yung issue ng due process na isa rin sa madalas na reklamo ng kampo ng Vice Presidente. Citing that very specific example, no? Si Ramil Madriaga, kung humarap siya sa April 14. Sabi niyo, clarificatory questions, of course, necessarily, his credibility would be tested also, no, by some of the members, if not all of the members. Saan papasok yung due process on the part of the Vice President? Pwede ba siyang mag-cross-examine ng witness na yan? Pwede siya magtanong, for instance?
First of all, Christian, no, since our last, since the determination of sufficiency in, since the determination of sufficiency in substance, okay, we sent notice to the Vice President to file her answer. That is due process already. And then we proceeded to the determination of sufficiency in ground. We even manifested that at any time of this proceeding, if the Vice President will arrive, will come, or any of her representatives, and they're willing to submit evidence, we will accept them, okay? And even during the entire proceeding of the determination of sufficiency in ground, we've been saying that for as long as this Justice Committee is hearing the impeachment complaints until April 29, at least for those schedules which have been announced already, the Vice President can anytime appear with counsel and submit evidence to counter the allegations of offenses. Now, we go to that testimony of Madriaga. Kung dumating si Madriaga mag-testify, the committee will be welcoming the Vice President to counter whatever testimony or whatever evidence Madriaga will present in support of the allegations in the complaint. In other words, Christian, during the entire proceeding in the Justice Committee, the Vice President can anytime present her answer or evidence to counter the impeachment complaint. So that is the due process that we have been offering to her.
Okay, so malinaw. Pwede siyang sumagot at any point, no? Pero paano siya magsasalita? Would it be through the members of the Justice Committee or pwedeng direktang magsalita, mag-manifest o magtanong yung kanyang mga abogado?
Well, Christian, again, this is a preliminary investigation. And, at least akin to preliminary investigation. And it is clear under the rules that the clarificatory hearing will be participated by the justice members. Because if we will compare this really to an actual PI in a criminal prosecution, it is really the fiscal only, the investigators who raise the questions to the parties, Christian, no? But nevertheless, because of our intention to cater ample due process, we included in the guidelines that the lawyers of the parties, of both the complainant and the respondent, can actually submit questions to the chair, which we will be reading for the witnesses to answer. No? Kung ang titingnan mo rules, ang magpa-participate lang talaga at magre-raise ng question ay ang mga justice members. But because we value the due process and we really wanted to provide that ample due process to the parties, not just to the Vice President, no? We included in the guidelines the submission of questions by the lawyers to the chair, which we will be reading for the witnesses to answer. So with that, Christian, they can still raise questions to the witnesses like Madriaga, no? But if you are referring to the possibility of the Vice President's lawyers themselves cross-examining the witnesses, this should not happen here. This must happen in the trial before the Senate. The reason is this is not a trial. This is a preliminary investigation only.
Okay. Kung aabot po sa Senado, no? Pero how confident are you or optimistic that this time the Supreme Court would not or should not step in, at least at this stage, and stop your impeachment hearings?
Well, this is from my point of view as the Justice Chair, because I've been very, very cautious in presiding this impeachment proceeding before the Justice Committee. And I know really that we follow the letters of the rules of impeachment of the House of Representatives, the Constitution, and even both the decision and the resolution of the Supreme Court. I don't know, Christian, of any reason which may prompt issues of constitutionality. And having that in mind, Christian, I am confidently hopeful that this time around, the Supreme Court will sustain the constitutionality of the proceeding of the Justice Committee.
And in the first place, kung hindi pa nagsisimula yung mismong hearings,
Precisely.
is there a justiciable issue?
Well, sabi ko nga, Christian, kanina, during the start of the program, ni wala pang na-present na evidence. As a matter of fact, sa April 14 pa, mag-i-start yung hearing ng evidence to be presented by both parties, clarificatory hearing. And yet, there are so many allegations of issues of constitutional unconstitutionality already, Christian, no? So, for me, Christian, I find it really hard to understand how they are alleging these issues of unconstitutionality when in fact, hindi pa nga nag-uumpisa. And furthermore, we've been very, very compliant with all the rules governing this impeachment process.
Okay. Tinitingnan ko rin kasi yung perspective ng kanyang mga abogado. So kung ako rin naman yung abogado ng Vice President, I would exhaust all avenues or remedies available to me under the law, under the Constitution.
Yeah.
Pero, okay. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, do you sense na baka naman at the core of this, takot lang yung Vice President na sumagot?
Well, of course, that is a possibility, no? But I cannot speak for the Vice President. But of course, it is understandable that that is the interpretation of most of the people now. Kasi nung first impeachment process, that was the 19th Congress, no? They did not confront the allegations of offenses and instead raise issues of technicalities, which led to the declaration of unconstitutionality. This time around, on the second impeachment process, we've been very compliant to the rules, and yet they continue to raise issues of technicalities. And what interpretation can we get from this, Christian? No? So at least I understand the interpretation of a significant number of people about evading the possibility of responding to the allegations of offenses in the impeachment complaint.
Okay. Pero di ba kayo nakikita parang incongruence or ina lang yung term, sige, incongruence between the previous petition last year by the Vice President, kinampihan sila ng Korte Suprema, no? Pero nilatag ng Korte Suprema clearly, at sabi nga na maraming legal experts, sumobra pa nga doon sa saklaw na kapangyarihan ng Korte Suprema, yung tinatawag nila overreach. Pero nga, do you sense or do you notice an incongruence between the points raised by the Vice President in that petition at yung mga nilatag na procedures, no? At ang mga requirements ng Korte Suprema ngayon dito sa panibagong petition na ito? In short, ganito, no? Ito, binigyan ka ng due process, nilatag to the letter. Ngayon, nagre-reklamo pa rin sa due process, nagre-reklamo pa rin sa jurisdiction. Sinasabi meron pa rin grave of abuse of discretion.
Well, what is very clear dyan, Christian, no? During the first impeachment complaint, ang sabi nila walang due process, no? So ang ginawa ng Supreme Court, ni-require yung opportunity to file an answer to the impeachment complaint. At ginawa na natin yan ngayon. Diba? Ni-require din ng Supreme Court yung verification ng evidence. Gagawin natin yan ngayon during the clarificatory hearing. Ni-require din ng Supreme Court na mabigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga justice members or House members na aralin ang impeachment complaint including the evidence. And this is also happening in the impeachment proceeding before the Justice Committee. So, totally, Christian, the position of the Vice President, if you will compare the first and the second impeachment complaint, are contradictory. In the first, they're asking for due process. Ngayon, ibinibigay natin lahat ng due process At ang gusto naman nilang mangyari is not to conduct a hearing, not to issue subpoena, and maybe to transmit it immediately to the Senate, no? At least for some interviews that I've heard from Attorney Poa.
Mm.